Good morning, students. Today's session is for BBA third year HR specialized student, and it is for your third HR specialization, that is for Human Resource Development Principles and Practices. Today, I will discuss another topic of HRD, that is role and significance of HRD and HRD practices in Indian industries. First, we will discuss role and significance of HRD. In this topic, today we will cover what role HRD plays in an organization and why it is important to an organization. Means, what is the reason behind implementing various concepts and practices or principles of HRD in an organization. Let me start various roles and significance of HRD. So initially I told you that before industrial revolution there was no concept of HRD. Means before industrial revolution the organization thought that human resource is not important resources for them, and they thought that if they have sufficient amount of raw material, better method for producing the goods, and if they have a latest technology, they can able to produce more goods at less cost, and they can also capable to attract more number of customers. Before industrial revolution, there was a concept of monopoly. Due to this thing, the organization required few skill for producing the goods. So that at that time, organization did not give any importance to develop the skills, knowledge, and capabilities of a human resource. And at that time, there was no concept of humanitarian approach, and the organization treated human resource like a machine. And the organization thought that if they have sufficient amount of other resources, they can able to achieve their organizational objective. So before industrial revolution, there was no concept of human resource development. But after industrial revolution, this concept was changed. Means after industrial revolution, there were various industry setup, and every day particular organization get a competition, get lot of competition from the competitors, and every day the organization faces a lot of difficulties, a lot of challenges. So sometimes organization survival position also got threatened. And to survive in the market, and after industrial revolution, the organization realized that human resource is the only resource which help them to survive, which help them to grow and prosper. And human resource is the only resource which helps them to face the global competition. So after industrial revolution, organization realized that human resources having a lot of potentialities, and these potentialities should have to be developed by the organization, and by developing the skills, knowledge, and abilities of a human resource, the organization can able to face the competition. So after industrial revolution, the concept of human resource development came into existence. After industrial revolution, there is a concept of humanitarian approach, and after that organization developed the skills, knowledge, and abilities of a human resource, and it started giving more importance to developing the knowledge, developing the internal potentialities of a human resource. So after introduction of LPG policy also, or after introducing the LPG policy by Indian government, HRD concept, HRD principle gained much importance. Means when Indian government introduced the concept of LPG, when the Indian government introduced the LPG policy, at that time, certain MNCs were emerged. Means you know well that after globalization, there were no national boundaries for doing business. A developed country's business enter into a developing country for trading purpose. So due to introduction of LPG policy, certain MNCs were emerged, and that create problem for a domestic business. When developed countries business enter into a developing country, generally they came with a latest product, and they came with a good quality product with minimum price, and that attract more number of customers, and that business create a problem for the domestic business. So the introduction of LPG policy create a problem for the domestic business. Means the introduction of the emergence of MNCs or multinational companies create a problem for domestic business. And domestic business every day faces a lot of difficulties, a lot of challenges, and there was a changes arise in the external environment, and the organization survival position also got threatened. And to survive in the market, organization realized that the organization should have to procure the human resource the talented human resource and the human resource who having a lot of potentialities, and the organization want a people who having the capability to adopt different cultures and who having the ability or capability to do multitasking. So after introduction of LPG policy, the concept of HRD gained much importance. Gained much importance means after introduction of LPG policy, organization require a people who having multi-talented and who having high skilled and who having the capability to do multitasking. And organization also require to develop the skills, knowledge, and potentialities of its present employees also, so that the organization can able to face the global challenges and global changes, and the organization can able to face the competition and can able to survive in the market and able to grow and prosper. So for that reason, every organization introduced the concept of the concept of HRD in their organization, so that by using the techniques of HRD, they can develop the individuals' knowledge, skills, and abilities, so that they can able to face the global challenges and global competitions. Uh, so we can say that after introduction of LPG policy, the concept of HRD gained much importance, and we can say that after industrial revolution, the concept of HRD came into existence. Now I will discuss the various importance of HRD, or the role of HRD plays in an organization. So, after introduction of LPG policy, every organization implement the concept of HRD. But the concept of HRD, because HRD plays such an important role, and HRD plays a vital role for achieving the organizational objective. HRD having certain importance, certain objective. What importance HRD having, or what role HRD plays in an organization? Let me discuss one by one in detail. It expands capable HR, means HRD expands the knowledge of HR and knowledge of human resource. HRD develops the capabilities of a human resource. So for improving knowledge, skill, capabilities of a human resource, or the improving the potentialities of a human resource, it is required for an organization to introduce the concept of HRD. So HRD plays a vital role for developing of the potentialities of a human resource. By using various techniques of HRD, the organization can able to develop the skills, knowledge, and abilities of a human resource. Initially, I told you that HRD is a framework which helps an employee to develop their skills, knowledge, and abilities, so that by using this thing, the organization can able to face the global challenges and global competitions. So HRD makes the employee more competent and efficient, because HRD provides various techniques and various strategies, so that the human resource can able to sharpen their capabilities, and after developing these things, the person can able to do everything in a most effective way, so that the organization can able to do everything in a most efficient manner, and at last the organization can able to achieve their objective. So HRD is required, and HRD plays an important role for expanding or for increasing the inherent potentialities of a human resource. The next importance of HRD is that it builds prospect for career development. HRD helps an organization as well as individual for making a planning related to the individual career. Means by applying various or by using various strategies or various instruments of HRD, organization or individual can able to identify their career path. Means what career path means what career path means we can say that what job opportunities and what job opportunities is available to a particular employee in his or her career, that thing can be identified with the help of HRD system. So HRD helps in making planning related to a person's career, and after identifying various career paths, HRD provides various techniques or various strategies to a human resource, so that the person can able to grasp various opportunities provided by the organization. Means after identifying career path, HRD provides various developmental program, various training program to particular employees, so that the person can able to acquire more and more skills, acquire more knowledge, so that the person can able to move further, and the person can able to grasp whatever the opportunity provided by the organization, and the organization or the individual can able to grasp or can able to achieve higher level job that is available to him. So HRD helps an organization as well as individual for developing the career of a particular employee, and it helps to make career planning of for an employee, and it helps to identify different career paths, means how many jobs available to a particular employee in his or her career, that identified with the help of HRD. And HRD also develop the skills, knowledge of a human resource so that the person can able to grasp whatever the opportunities or whatever the career path that is, whatever the higher level job that is available to him in his or her future. So for developing the career of individual, HRD also plays an important role. Next, employee promises. So HRD helps to fulfill all the commitment given by an employee to the organization. Means HRD helps an organization to create a positive attitude within an employee. If a person create a positive attitude, if a person create a positive, if within a person a positive attitude is created, then that person are more committed, more dedicated to the organization, and whatever the commitment given by the person to the organization, the person try to fulfill these things. And after developing the skills, knowledge and capabilities of a human resource, the person want to do everything in a most effective way, in a most efficient way, and they try to adopt different, and they try to adopt a better thing for performing the job, so that they are more committed to the organization, they are dedicated to the organization. So whatever the commitment they provide or they give to the organization, after developing they try to fulfill these things. So HRD helps to helps the employee to helps the employee as well as organization to fulfill the commitment that is given by an employee to an organization. Next importance of HRD arises to fulfillment or to satisfying an employee, to satisfying an employee, or it is important for job fulfillment. Means after developing the skills, knowledge and capabilities of a human resource, that person that person can able to perform his or her job in a most effective and efficient way, and that person always think for betterment of the company, and that person wants to do everything in a most effective way, and the person interested to adopt a better method for performing the job. So after developing the skills, knowledge and capabilities, after gaining more knowledge, acquiring more knowledge related to different things, the person are interested to exert all their energies in a particular job, so that whatever the required things, whatever the organization want to perform in a particular job, that person is capable to perform these things in a particular job, so that whatever the requirement things or whatever the thing organization want from a particular job, that can be fulfilled and that can be achieved by the organization. Means for fulfilling the required things in a particular job, HRD plays a vital role, and HRD helps the organization, and HRD helps the human resource for fulfilling everything in a particular job by developing the knowledge and abilities, by sharpening the capabilities of a human resource, whatever the things required in a particular job, the person able to complete all the things, and the persons are committed in a particular job and committed in a particular job, and the person interested to exert all their energies, and the person interested to fulfill all the commitment that is given by him to the organization, so that at last the organization can able to achieve the required thing from a particular job. So for fulfilling the required thing in a particular job, HRD plays an important role. Next is transform management. Here, transform management means what? Change management. So for managing change, HRD plays an important role. Generally, whatever the changes happened at outside of the organization must have to implement these changes inside, and the organization should have to work on that changes. So when a particular change implemented by the organization, employees are always hesitate to accept this thing, because they thought that if they are not able to work in a comfortable manner with latest thing, then there are many chances of firing from the job, there are many chances of losing the job. So due to this thing, employees are not interested to accept new changes. But HRD makes these things more easy. HRD motivates our human resource to accept new changes. What HRD does for motivating our human resource to accept the new changes, HRD develop the skills, knowledge, and capabilities of a human resource, and it provides various knowledge related to latest things related to the changes that arises inside the organization, so that employee can able to acquire more knowledge about the changes, and they can able to work more comfortably in a particular change, so that employees are interested to accept new changes, so that employees are work comfortably in a particular change, so that the employees are motivated to accept such changes, and they can able to perform in a perfect manner. So HRD plays a vital role for managing the change, and HRD also helps the organization to create a positive attitude within a human resource, and that helps the organization to minimize the conflict that arises between the employees of an organization, so that everything can be done in a most coordinated and cooperative manner, and at last organization can able to achieve its objective in a most efficient manner. So for managing change, HRD plays a vital role, or for managing change, HRD is very important. Next is opportunities for training and development. So main intention of HRD is to develop the skill, knowledge, and abilities of a human resource. Its main intention is to sharpen the capabilities and develop the internal potentialities or inherent potentialities of a individual. So HRD plays an important role for developing the skills, knowledge, and capabilities of a human resource by applying various techniques of HRD, like performance appraisal and potential appraisal of HRD. The organization can able to identify the employee's present performance level, and the organization can able to identify the potentialities of a human resource, so that the organization can able to develop a suitable training and developmental program for that employee, so that the person's skills, knowledge can be improved, whatever the lacunas the person having, that can be removed, so that the person can able to work comfortably. So HRD provides a opportunity for training and developing the human resource. Next, performance development. So for developing the performance of an individual as well as organization, HRD plays also a vital role. So its main intention is to develop the performance of human resource by developing the skills, abilities, and potentialities of individual. So its main intention is to improve the performance of the human resource. So it provides various strategies, it provides various framework through which the organization can able to identify the person's present performance level, and organization can able to identify the skill deficiencies of a human resource, so that the organization accordingly arrange various developmental program, and after gaining various knowledge or after participating in a particular developmental program, the person can able to acquire more knowledge related to performing a task, so that the person can exert all their energies, all their developed skill in a particular job, and the person can able to do their job in a perfect manner, and that leads to improvement in performance. If the persons, or if an individual employee's performance is improved, that ultimately leads to development of the organization, and and improve the performance of the organization also. So these are the various importance of HRD, and these are the various roles HRD generally plays in an organization. So for these things, for these requirement, organization implements the concept of HRD in an organization. Next, I will discuss HRD practices in Indian industries. This is a very important topic. So, in this topic, what we will discuss? In this topic, we will discuss when and which organization introduced the concept of HRD, and what are the intention or what are the objective of introducing HRD concept, and which strategy that organization adopt for developing their human resources. In this topic, we will cover the actual or the real HRD practices in various Indian industry. Let me start this topic. So the concept of HRD is not a recent origin. It is very old concept. Means I told you that after implementation of LPG policy, the HRD concept gained much importance, and it came into existence after industrial revolution. So we can say that HRD is not a recent origin. It is a very old concept. Different industry applies, or different industry introduced the concept of HRD in different industries implement the different industry implement the concept of HRD for developing the skills, knowledge, and capabilities of human resource. So, in the year 1956, MRF introduced the Department of HRD. Means in the year 1956, first MRF company, that is Madras Rubber Factory, first introduced the concept of HRD. Means first introduced or first create a department of HRD. That department's intention or that department's responsibility is to look after only the developmental aspect of human resource. No doubt human resource development or training and development is an important function of HRM, but it is a very important function HRM has to perform. HRM has to perform number of functions. So some organization creates a separate department for developing the human resource, for developing the skill, knowledge, and abilities of human resource. So first MRF in the year 1956 introduced the Department of HRD, and the responsibility of HRD department is to look after only the developmental aspect of human resource. After L&T introduced the concept of HRD in the year 1975. So the introduction of HRD concept by Lesser and Troubo is to develop the skills, knowledge, and abilities of a human resource. Its main intention is to upgrade human potentialities. So first MRF introduced the Department of HRD, and after that Lesser and Turbo introduced the concept of HRD in the year 1975 for developing the potentialities of its human resource. And after that, in late 70s, means in 1970, a workshop was conducted in XLRI Jamshedpur, and in that workshop, that workshop is meant for importance of HRD, and that workshop realized the importance of HRD in Indian industry. So after that, various organizations and various experts started research on human resource development. They started research on why HRD is important to a particular industry. And after some time, in the year 1987, a study was conducted by Center for HRD, Javier Labor Relation Institute, and National HRD Networks by taking 29 business organizations, that is from 5 public sector, that is from 5 public sector organization, and 24 private sector organization. So various organization means various separate body like Center for HRD, Javier Labor Relation Institute, and National HRD Network conducted research in the year 1987 to reveal various information related to the human resource development, related to various concepts and principles of human resource development. So after conducting, generally they take 29 organizations, they took 29 organizations for their research. So they took 5 organizations from public sector, and they took 24 organizations from private sector. So after conducting their study, they revealed that out of 29 organizations, 12 had separate department to look after HRD function. Means so whatever the study made by this body, they identified that 12 organizations having a separate department to look after HRD function. Means in 12 organizations, they have a separate HRD department, and that department's responsibility is to look after only the developmental aspects of human resource. That department's responsibility is to identify the employees' lacunas, identify the employees' deficiencies, and identify the employees' potentialities also. And after that, they have to design a suitable developmental program for that employee, and that department's intention is to develop a suitable organization culture also, so that whatever the developed skills, knowledge, and abilities of a human resource can be utilized by these organizations. So whatever the research made by these bodies, they identified that 12 organizations having a separate Department of HRD, and other organization simply renamed their HRM department as HRD department. So whatever the functions of HRM, whatever the functions of HRD, they are performed in a particular department. Means the particular department has to look after various functions of human resource. After that, they identified that, means this body identified that HRD functions seem to receive greater importance by organization which had a diversified product range. Means this body identified that HRD gained much importance in a particular industry or particular organization who having diversified product range. Means if an organization having a lot of product for production, then generally this type of organization requires the concept of HRD. This type of organization implement various concepts of HRD because they produce different product, and for producing different product, different skill setup is required. So for producing different things, organization implement the concept of HRD, and by using the concept of HRD, organization develop the skills, knowledge, and capabilities of human resource so that whatever the requirement of diversified product range production, they can able to meet. So a study was conducted by different bodies in the year 1987 by taking 29 organizations, that is from public sector, and 24 from private sector, and they identified various information related to various things related to HRD, that 29 organization having out of 29 organization, 12 having separate HRD department, and rest simply renamed it HRM department as HRD department. And HRD is important for a particular industry, particular organization who having diversified product range. Means a organization who produce different varieties of goods, for that industry HRD plays a important role, and that industry implement the concept of HRD. So I told you that the HRD concept gained much importance after implementation or after introduction of HRD, after introduction of LPG policy by Indian government. So after introduction of LPG policy, various companies, means various domestic companies and as well as foreign companies always also introduced the concept of HRD. Means many domestic companies like Wipro, SBI, SAIL, HAL, and many public sector company also introduced the concept of HRD. Means they also want to improve, they also want to enhance the capabilities of their human resource, and many foreign multinational companies like Xerox, Intel, IBM, Motorola also adopt this concept. By using this concept, the organization able to develop the skills, knowledge, and capabilities of their human resource so that they can able to face the global challenges and global competitions. So while discussing the concept of HRD, I told you that HRD is not only important uh, in micro level, but also it is important for macro level. Means in national level also the concept of HRD is implemented. Means Indian government also want to introduce the concept of HRD in national level because the quality of a country depends upon the quality of its human resource. If within a country the human resources are qualitative one, they can able to discover many things, they can able to do everything in a most effective way, and that helps the country to success, that helps the country to grow and prosper. So quality of a country depend upon the quality of human resource that having. So at national level also, Indian government want to introduce the concept of HRD. So for that reason, in India there is a separate portfolio. In India there is a separate portfolio, that is Ministry of HRD, that is Ministry of HRD, and the Ministry of HRD looks after the developmental thing of human resource of a particular country, human resource of India. So again, the Ministry of HRD is divided into two departments, that is Department of School Education and Higher Secondary Education. This department looks after the educational aspect, the developmental aspect of human resource, and they give more importance to developing, educating the human resource so that the quality of human resource improves. If the quality of human resource improves, then only the country's quality, and then country can able to develop, grow, and prosper. So the concept of HRD is not only applicable in micro level, means not only applicable in company level, but it also applicable in national level also. So for that reason, India create a separate portfolio for me portfolio, that is Ministry of HRD, and through this India develop the skills, knowledge, and capabilities of human resource. So next I will discuss when various leading organization introduce the concept of HRD, and what are the major objective of introducing HRD, and what strategy generally they adopt, what HRD instruments they adopt for developing the human resource. So first, L&T, Laser and Turbo, introduced the concept of HRD in the year 1975. In the year 1975, Laser and Turbo, a leading organization, introduced the concept of HRD. The main objective of this organization is to introduce development-oriented performance appraisal system. Means in 1975, Laser and Turbo introduced the concept of HRD. The main goal of introducing HRD is to introduce a development-oriented performance appraisal system. Means before 1957, whatever the traditional performance appraisal system adopted by Laser and Turbo is not sufficient to evaluate the employee's performance, is not sufficient to identify the person's lacunas, person's potentialities. So for that reason, or for making more effective the performance appraisal system, Laser and Turbo introduced the concept of HRD in the year 1975. So main intention of HRD introduction by Laser and Turbo is to introduce a development oriented performance appraisal system. So for achieving this thing, what strategy Laser and Turbo adopt? For achieving this goal, HRD adopt Laser and Turbo adopt integrated HRD system. Means integrated means what? Integrated, we can say that combining or gathering. So by Laser and Turbo did not use a particular technique of HRD for developing the skills, knowledge, and capabilities of a human resource, or for introducing the developmental oriented performance appraisal system. So for making a more effective performance appraisal system, the Laser and Turbo implement various HRD strategies like performance appraisal system, potential appraisal, feedback system, counseling, career planning, training, and organizational development. So by using various techniques of HRD, Laser and Turbo introduced an efficient system of performance appraisal system. Means by introducing or by adopting the performance appraisal system or potential appraisal system, the organization of Laser and Turbo can able to identify the employee's present performance level, and identify the employee's potentialities. And after identifying these potentialities, by using the training and developmental strategy of HRD, organization conduct or arrange suitable developmental program for that employee, and whatever the result of the performance appraisal, they provide these things to the employees. Means through feedback, they provide the result of the performance appraisal to the employee, and through counseling, the organization suggest various things to a particular employee, and by adopting this thing, the employee's performance can be improved. And HRD also adopt the concept of Laser and Turbo also adopt the concept of career planning, and by adopting various strategies of organizational development like survey feedback and management by objective and talent management, the organization can able to implement a developmental oriented performance appraisal system, and organization can able to develop the person's skill, knowledge, and capabilities. So by using various techniques like performance appraisal, potential appraisal, feedback and counseling, and career planning, training and development, organization can able to identify the person's present level of performance and the potentialities of a human resource, and whatever the result, whatever the feedback of a particular performance appraisal, they provide to these things to the employee through counseling, and they provide some suggestion to the particular employee for developing or for minimizing whatever the lacunas they have, whatever they identified in the performance appraisal. And by doing this thing and by conducting a suitable training program and by implementing a suitable organizational developmental program, they can able to introduce a developmental oriented performance appraisal system, and that leads to improving the performance of laser and trouble. So various organizations introduced the concept of HRD, the concept of HRD in different years, and their intention, their objective is different, and they adopt various strategy to achieve their goals. Like SBI also introduced the concept of HRD in 1979. Crompton also introduced the concept of HRD in 1979-80. BHEL Bhopal also introduced the concept of HRD in 1981. Voltas Limited also introduced the concept of HRD in 1982 and 83. Indian Oil Corporation also introduced the concept of HRD in 1983. And these organizations having different objectives, different goal for introducing the HRD, and they adopt different HRD strategy for achieving their goal. So these things we will discuss in our next class in detail. So uh, for today's class, we will discuss only this thing only. So thank you.